For years, the Apple TV has quietly lived in the corner of the living room. You plug it in once, set it up, and then it just works. It streams shows, it opens apps, it plays music, and it rarely demands attention. In fact, it has often been one of the most invisible Apple products. Useful, yes. Reliable, definitely. But not the kind of device that sparks major headlines. That, however, is about to change. Because if the leaks and whispers are true, the Apple TV of 2025 is not going to be a small refresh. It could be the biggest reinvention of the product since its launch. A complete rewrite of what this little black box is supposed to be. Apple no longer wants the Apple TV to be just a streaming device. They want it to become the beating heart of your living room. And maybe even your digital life. This is not just about watching a movie or binging a series. This is about Apple reshaping how you interact with your home, how you play games, how you communicate with others, and how you connect with the growing world of Apple intelligence. So, let's peel this back, layer by layer, and understand why the 2025 Apple TV could be Apple's secret weapon. The first thing we need to talk about is power. Every Apple product lives or dies by the silicon at its core. The Apple TV of today is decent, but it is not cutting edge. It has been due for a serious jump for years. That jump is now coming. Rumors point to Apple using the A17 Pro or, more likely, a specialized A18 chip designed just for this box. And if you know what those chips can do, you'll realize why this matters. Think of it this way. The A17 Pro inside the iPhone isn't just running apps. It powers console-quality games. It processes billions of operations for advanced photography. It can handle complex AI tasks, all in a phone that fits in your pocket. Now imagine Apple takes that horsepower and plugs it into the biggest screen in your home. That's not just an upgrade. That's a revolution in performance. With an A18 at its core, the Apple TV 2025 would deliver instant app launches. No waiting, no lag, no spinning wheel. Just fluid navigation, crisp transitions, and a level of smoothness you rarely see on a streaming device. Buffering? Practically gone. But the important part is not just what this power does today. It's what it unlocks for tomorrow. Because this chip doesn't exist just to speed up menus. It exists to bring Apple intelligence to the living room. If you've followed Apple's software announcements recently, you'll know that Apple Intelligence is their new suite of on-device AI tools. It makes your devices more personal, more helpful, and more proactive. Until now, this has been limited to the iPhone, iPad, and Mac. But in 2025, the Apple TV could be joining the party. Picture this. You sit down on your couch. The Apple TV doesn't just wait for you to pick something to watch. It already knows your habits. It dims the lights in the room, lowers the temperature a notch, and cues up your favorite playlist because it's 8 p.m. on a Friday and you usually like to unwind. You didn't press a button. You didn't ask Siri. The Apple TV simply understood. That's the kind of contextual awareness Apple is aiming for. And it doesn't stop there. Apple Intelligence could make the Apple TV your true home hub. Imagine saying, "Siri, I'm home," and instead of only turning on the screen, the Apple TV displays your calendar, your reminders, your unread messages, and a short recap of the news you missed. All of this personalized to you, and all processed privately, on device. No data shipped off to some server farm. Your habits, your routines, your family life, all staying in your home. This is what makes Apple's version of intelligence unique. It isn't just smart. It's personally smart. It knows you. It respects your privacy. And now, with the Apple TV, it will sit at the center of your living room. Now let's talk about gaming, because this is where the story gets even more interesting. For years, Apple TV has flirted with gaming. It had Apple Arcade. It had some casual hits. But it was never seen as a true gaming platform. Not when PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo were dominating. But the landscape has shifted. And Apple is ready to make a bold move. With an A18 chip inside, the Apple TV could finally handle the kind of console-level games that gamers expect. Think about this: Resident Evil Village and Death Stranding already run on the iPhone. That means they can absolutely run on a box connected to your 4K TV. Suddenly, the Apple TV is not just for casual fun. It becomes a serious contender. Of course, it won't replace a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X for the hardcore fans. But for millions of families, it could redefine what casual gaming looks like. High-quality visuals. Smooth frame rates. Huge titles available directly from the App Store. Pair it with a controller, and suddenly your living room has a console baked right in, without needing to buy one. That's Apple's play. To make console-level gaming accessible, integrated, and effortless. But maybe the boldest rumor of all is the camera. Yes, a built-in camera inside the Apple TV. At first, that might sound strange. But think about what it unlocks. For starters, FaceTime on the big screen. No more crowding around a phone or tablet. Family calls could happen right in the living room, with crystal-clear video. It turns the Apple TV into a communication hub, not just an entertainment one. But it doesn't stop at calls. The camera could allow gesture controls. Wave your hand to pause a show. Move your palm to skip forward. Imagine controlling your Apple TV without ever touching a remote. That's the kind of futuristic interaction Apple loves to perfect. The camera could also tie into fitness. Apple Fitness Plus already uses the Apple Watch to track your heart rate. But what if the Apple TV itself could see your form? Correct your posture in real time? Guide you through workouts using advanced computer vision? Suddenly, your living room isn't just for watching, it becomes a personal gym. And then there's presence detection. The Apple TV could know when someone enters the room and automatically wake up. Or it could pause content when you step away. It could adjust settings based on who's present, creating a seamless, almost invisible connection between you and your tech. All of this points to one truth: the Apple TV is no longer just a box for streaming. It's evolving into something far bigger. A smart hub. A gaming console. A communication tool. A fitness coach. And a personalized assistant powered by Apple Intelligence. Of course, one big question remains: price. Some leaks suggest Apple could raise the cost to $199 or higher, making this a premium hub. Others think Apple might surprise us with a cheaper entry model, maybe under $100, to grab a bigger share of the market. Both strategies make sense. But whichever route Apple takes, one thing is clear: they're treating the living room as the next major battleground. Because in Apple's vision, your living room isn't just a place to sit. It's the command center of your digital life. A place to watch, yes. But also a place to play, to connect, to manage your world. And the 2025 Apple TV is designed to quietly sit at the center of it all, humming with power, packed with intelligence, and polished with that signature Apple design. By now, you can see why this device is so exciting. It's not an incremental update. It's a leap forward. A device that changes the way you think about your TV. A device that could make your living room smarter, more personal, and more fun. And this is only the beginning.